Hello. I wanted to comment on something Jennifer said from Hollow Bone Ranch. She was talking about the. It's a form of, I think, identifying with your suffering or being on a spiritual path. Um, and what was realized here, what realization came to me was that starting about 14 or 15, my only task really has been to my main focus has been to stop suffering, to get out of suffering. And it hit me all of a sudden that that wait, that is the problem. The problem was giving myself the problem that I was suffering. I'm not doing this any justice at all. But it's like it's creating a problem for yourself, and then it's creating something for the head to do. So I've had a lifetime. The head has had a lifetime activity of trying to get out of suffering. But its main problem has been trying to get out of suffering. And I think part of what Jennifer was saying was, or kind of pointing to for me, was that doesn't work. There's nothing wrong with anything. So why would some things you set aside and have to focus and work on them? Anything you take seriously and make a big deal out of, the head is going to have a field day with, and you're going to be stuck with it. And it won't ultimately be solvable, and you'll have to drop it at some point. Anyway. So all you can do is, before deciding that, okay, I'm suffering, making a decision that I'm suffering, it shouldn't be this way, right? And I'm going to fix it, right? I'm going to spend whatever it takes. I will go to any length to fix this suffering. That's exactly what the head wants to hear. I don't care if it takes lifetimes. I'm going to end this suffering. Guess what? The head wants it to take lifetimes. It gave you that idea. It created its own suffering, gave you the idea to spend a bunch of time, working on it. And we fall for these things, because the head tells us it's the authority, and everybody around us is giving us the same message. But before that decision, the head will be giving you false feelings, false emotions, right? So there's nothing to fear but fear itself, right? Eleanor Roosevelt. The scariest energy is scary energy, right? The worst energy is worst energy. In other words, it doesn't actually feel that way, right? The head takes it, reinterprets it, spins it up, gets the emotions going, right? And then it feeds on itself. It reinforces self-reinforcing it. It reinforces itself. And it seems like that's what it feels like, but it doesn't. It doesn't actually feel that way. So when we think about turning into the storm and turning into these just massively, outrageously difficult to confront energies, like fear or self-loathing or doubt or whatever, it seems insurmountable. Um, that's not actually what it feels like. That's head spin, right? Head and emotion spin. Um, so there's that. So before that, there's just sensation. There's seeing, there's feeling, there's hearing, etc. If you turn into that, I mean, what's hit me, like, my suffering is just that I told myself I was suffering. But so that just kind of dropped. And then, like, what was there to turn into to begin with? Like, behind all of that, or before all of that, what was there to turn into? Um, and it's almost nothing. It's just like these sensations, it's like it's like we have natural impulses, right? There's natural impulses in um, just built into the whole system, right? On different levels. So the action figure is going to want to, it has some built-in things like, gathering food, um, mastery, wanting to master, tasks that help its survival and the survival of other people. Um, where was I? Oh, so there's these natural kind of longings, or um, I'll just call them like natural desires, natural forces, where um, things that movements. There's like a natural movements towards things, right? Or times it's like times when you should just naturally take action. Where action just is required, or it just needs to get taken, or it just gets taken. And so it's just that, like, underneath all this stuff, there's just like a natural impulse to, like, be honest with myself, be more authentic. And it's really that. And ignoring those and minimizing those and stuffing those down and going along with the head's program that those kind of things don't belong in a real life, an established life, a normal life. Those things get pushed down and then repressed, held back, and through that kind of denial of the natural urgings, the head spins a whole new story, right? And the next thing you know, that's bad. It feels terrible, and you're suffering. But my suffering now is like the lifelong suffering that psychological suffering that I'm addressing. It's almost nothing. It's just this little kind of nutshell of there's going to be some nuggets, a couple little nuggets in there, but it's not the sky is falling that it told me it was, right? That the head tried to convince me that it was. So I've always had the intuition to turn into the storm. Like, if you're on the ocean, the last thing you want to do is be sideways, sideways in a swell, right? So the smartest thing is, I think, usually to just turn into the storm, so that you're riding it straight on. You know exactly what you're dealing with. Same thing applies here. Just And it ties in with direct feeling, right? Where resisting feeling feels like crap, okay? Feels terrible. It's always chasing you, haunting you. Um, oh, it's the boogeyman. It's the fear in fear itself, right? Um, it's the shadow that's harassing you. But it's just a mirage. Um, turn into what it really is. So when it comes to clear seeing, clear feeling, don't turn into what you think they are. Okay, that's never works. I mean, there might be a hair of that at first. Like maybe you don't know exactly. Like there's a hair of it at first because you don't know exactly what it really feels like until you kind of, it's like jumping in ice cold water, right? It's that transition that it's like, that takes your breath away and like sort of, you know, mind shattering or something. So there may be that initial shock for a second, but then that's all the head's interpretation of what things look like and what things feel like. You always want to go for like, you always want to do a direct feeling of what it actually is. Feel what the feeling actually is, right? In the same vein, see seeing's a little different. Maybe I'll leave that for another time. So just feeling what's actually there, right? So with my lifelong suffering, this whole time I've been feeling what seemed like was there. But I guess there's some overlap with seeing clearly, because when I see what I was taking incorrectly, it's very small and simple. And when I feel what I was taking to be, just chronic suffering, it feels very small also. It's very light. Like underneath every hell, there's a nugget. There's a little nugget or two that was just trying to communicate some little thing to you. That's all it is. But our head tells us, we become inauthentic so early in our lives. Like, listening to the head and listening to all the heads around us with all their ideas about what things are supposed to look like and how we're supposed to act, what we're supposed to be like. It's all nonsense. So it's always just a little communication or two about your genuine urgings or promptings, like, who you are and what your life's going to be about. Like, and it's not serious. You're not, you're not a meat sack, you just are looking through this, and but it has its natural flow. Like, just let it flow, let it crash. It's like the wave is always crashing. Like, just let the wave crash. Like, it's just right. Like, just like the wave is always crashing on the beach, just over and over and over and over and over. But it's never what the head tells you it is. It's never deadly. Wow. Anyway, I hope that made some sense.